BlizzConline is coming up soon, and maybe you've forgotten or don't know what Overwatch 2 is exactly. Well, this is going to be a real quick refresher course explaining just that. Overwatch 2 is generally seen as a PvE expansion for Overwatch. I say this because they confuse shit by saying they're redefining a sequel. What they really mean is you're probably going to be paying full price. But good news, if you don't give half a shit about PvE stuff, then this is a freebie expansion for you. You ain't gotta pay shit. First up, new heroes. We know one, and by know I mean we know she exists. Sojourner is Canadian and she's a Mega Man, but we'll be getting multiple apparently. We know maps though. Gothenburg, control point map. Point A is this big wide open space, and point B is this factory. Monte Carlo, probably a payload map judging from this car being in this perfectly laid out street. And Rio, a map we don't know about but might be hybrid to round things out, or possibly another payload map. We also have a brand new core game mode, Push. This is a King of the Hill payload hybrid. Less TF2 payload race and more Splatoon tower control. Got this big robot guy who pushes these markers. He moves faster if he's not pushing one, so coming back from a roll is easier. When pushing, you'll eventually get this checkpoint at the halfway mark that gives your team forward spawns around here, but only as long as the robot doesn't go back past the checkpoint. Winner is decided either by distance when time ends, or by pushing the marker to the final point outside the enemy spawn. Victory! Also, new HUD, updated engine, and level borders are going poof. So, what do you get for forking over the money? Well, first up, everyone's getting new designs, and I do mean everyone. If they're part of the current Overwatch 1 cast, they're getting a redesign.
Genji has pants now.
But the main thing you get is the PvE mode. It's a little different from Archives in a few ways, mainly that heroes have these unlockable branching level trees with talents, and every hero seems to have specialized changes for PvE specifically. There's also these throwable items become better based on their tier, just like all the items in the game, they're common, rare, epic, legendary. There's a damage vulnerability grenade, a 76 heal pod, a turret, and a ring-shaped shield. But the big downside is they've got a crazy ass 90-second cooldown. It's also returning to the classic res system from Uprising, and they've added the ability to crawl when downed, as well as adding extra lives complete with checkpoints. There's two PvE modes, Story, which has a preset selection of heroes for you to play with and cutscenes and junk, and Hero mode, which seems to be all heroes. It also seems like maps will have new time of day variants for PvE, with stuff like Nighttime Paris and Sunset Iconborn. They also briefly touched on during the panel they're playing around with the idea of having more than 4 hero options for the story mode missions. We don't know the release date, especially since all the rumours about BlizzCon release date and shit died thanks to the Overwatch 2nd art book leak on Amazon. But we do know it's probably happening sometime after October when the art book releases, because apparently it has a preview for Overwatch 2. But how long after October? Customizable skins got asked about back in this poll in August, and my realistic expectation is dumb and lame thing like, put spray on 76's back. But my unrealistic dream is making legendary skins these sorts of base appearance modifiers and releasing alternate colours for old event legendaries so all the heroes can still get content when events happen, while still giving proper event legendaries to some of the newer heroes. There's also this rumour about killing off loot boxes in favour of a battle pass, which can either be really good or really bad. Then there's talks of shifting some heroes to other roles, like DPS Hog, Tank Mei and Brig, and Support Symmetra. There's no guarantee they'll make the switch, but I do think moving some of the DPS into other roles could be good and lead to neat balance changes.
And you know, maybe rework some heroes to not be so fucking stupid.
There was also this situation with Jeff showing 4 hero silhouettes to a journalist who noted 3 out of the 4 were female, with the male resembling some kind of warlock or voodoo priest with the staff. The most noteworthy of the girls had a fox-like companion, which is recently relevant due to a teaser released alongside Kanezaka. There was a letter from Asa Yamagami, a swordmaster who trained Genji and Hanzo, mentioning a fox spirit shrine as well as her daughter now having a sword of her own, generally leading people to connect the outline with either Asa herself or her daughter as a new hero. So now you're ready for BlizzConline. Remember to keep your expectations low and not to overhype yourself with ideas of what the game could be.